Let's take a quick look at how to use StoryMaker to build stories, papers, and reports. I've logged in as Frida Kahlo, 7th grade, though this tool can be used for students from 3rd grade through graduate school. There are a number of videos right here on your dashboard and also some PDFs that you can use to guide you through researching, writing, citing, all the work you need to do to build a great paper or story. There are other tabs on your dashboard, but we're not going to look at any of them now because there's not time. You can explore them all later. We're just going to go straight for StoryMaker. So under the StoryMaker tab, you've got Stories in Progress, Build a Story, Submitted for Publishing, and Published Stories. We are going to build a story right now. And the first page shows us our progress bar. We're going to choose a type, either a story brief, which is a one web page story with lots of media links, or a multi-chapter story, which is many pages. Let's do the simple one today. The first thing we're going to do is determine the subject and the grade. Let's do Language Arts and Social Studies, 6th, 7th, and 8th grades. Stories can be aimed at lower or higher. Now we're looking at the story origin. And in this case, I'm going to choose achievements, but you might look at it and think, I want to do a story on a book, I want to do a story on a film, whatever it is you want to do. Here it is. There's a short description of what that type is. Next, we're going to pick a title. And we want to pick something that's going to be interesting to people and give them some information that'll cause them to choose this story. Now we're on a major work page. This is our research page. Whether you're going to write a fiction story or a nonfiction paper or article, it's great to start with research so you have background for what you're going to write. And there are 3 video guides linked right here, one on how to pick a good story, and another on how to find sources, and another on how to write those sources. Those are things you can explore at another time. Right now, to dive right into the research, we have 2 major ways we do the research here, and one is to do it right in Awesome Stories archive itself and use the Awesome Search to find what you need in the archive. You can choose by standard, subject, age, grade, or collection. These are the topical collections, or story origin, or media type. In this case, let's just look for keyword Alexander Hamilton. And we will see how many resources do we have in our archive. You can see it's counting down through the resources, finding which ones will apply. We have 9 that are available to us. And I'm going to choose, just to start, this Patriots Storm the Redcoats, because a very early part of Alexander Hamilton's activity in the United States after immigrating here from the Caribbean was to assist General George Washington in leading troops to battle. We are going to copy the link here and go back to our StoryMaker research, paste it in, and just like magic, when we hit Add Your Resource, this resource has been added to our story. Now, as we read our story, as we write our story, we can always be looking at the preview, and we see we've placed this under the media stream right now. We have our title. We're going to be building in the story, illustration, and other media stream elements as we go. So let us look back at what other resources we might want to add. This is an interesting one, Thomas Jefferson's letter to James Madison, in which he asks Madison to actually attack Alexander Hamilton. Alexander Hamilton had some contentious colleagues, and one of those, chief among them, was Thomas Jefferson. We've now added this letter, which is going to be quite interesting. And let's go back and check one more time and see if there's anything else we would like to add. These icons show whether it's a chapter, an image, a story brief, an audio, and there's also a symbol for a video that you'll see in a moment. Because writing the Federalist Papers was so important in Hamilton's contribution to the United States, there's lots of information in this chapter about it, and if we were actually writing this right now, we would be reading all of that and learning a lot, but instead we're just going to add that chapter right now. And then I'm going to do one more search. I'd like to look for a video that I know exists. That's a wonderful resource that when we're done you might even want to just go and get it and listen to it yourself. And this is a rap that was written by and performed by Lin-Manuel Miranda about, here we go, about Alexander Hamilton. And I'll just play a second of this. He performed this in front of the Obamas at the White House a couple of months ago.
My God. I'm thrilled the White House called me tonight because I'm actually working on a hip-hop album. It's a concept album about the life of someone I think embodies hip-hop, Treasury Secretary Alexander Hamilton. You laugh, but it's true. He was born a penniless orphan.
Listen to it later. It's a wonderful rap. We're going to add it here. And we can see here now we have a video as well. And that will take us to looking at what's the second kind of research we're going to do. At Awesome Stories, we try to help you to use many of the archives in the world that a lot of people don't even know about. They just go to Google. They don't know to go to the Library of Congress or NASA or wherever. We do have a tour that shows you how to search in the Library of Congress, but I'm going to dig right in and look at it with you. We're going to choose prints and photographs because we want to find a photograph to upload. And then we just type in Alexander. And there are a number of portraits. Here's one that looks good. We're looking for a portrait that will show us a JPEG that we can download, and this one has one. So we're going to click on that. This is the image we're going to take. We're going to save this image. We can see at the top that this photograph was taken by Colonel John Trumbull. We're going to name this image so that we have it handy on our desktop. Library of Congress, John Trumbull. Those are important bits of information we will need shortly. We've downloaded that now. And we go back to our research section and we say we want to add an external resource, Alexander Hamilton photographic portrait. And here we can say Alexander Hamilton portrait by Colonel John Trumbull. And you probably saw I missed a letter there. This came from the Library of Congress, and the creator was Colonel John Trumbull. Now the resource URL I saved right there. We paste this in so if there was any problem finding this, it can be found as folks are publishing for us. The user rights category is public domain. This was a photograph found at the Library of Congress and we should be able to use it. Now we find this on our desktop, choose it, and upload it. Now let's see, here it is magically in our list. Now let's make this our story illustration. And we can come right back here and take a quick look preview. This is what we have so far. We've chosen all of these interesting media sources. We have a caption that gives the right credit for this image. Now we're going to be writing the story, which will fit right in here. Okay, so we go to Write Story. And one of the things that we've provided to support all of us writing stories is an outline. And you can use this or not if it helps you. And so I've just written Alexander Hamilton's birthplace and conditions in the Caribbean, because he was born in the Caribbean and went through quite a bit before he got to the mainland. Now, you can add sections and plot your entire passage here, or you can just begin writing here. If you want, you can write your story in a Microsoft Word or some other Google document, and then you can copy and paste it in. You can add links and you can add images to the story body. If you do, whenever you enter a quote or an image, you will want to put a number by it and then create a footnote. And this program will scaffold you footnoting that and make it all come out looking just perfect. Lastly, you have a choice. You can, if you wish, add a question to ponder, a thoughtful question that you might like your classmates or others on the web to ask themselves if they're reading your story. And finally, you can, after writing your whole story, read it aloud into your cell phone recorder or your computer recorder or recorder in the classroom and upload the MP3 file, and it will sync with your story. And there you have it. That's how to write a story with StoryMaker. Submit it. Takes you back to your